Page 10, factoring numbers. So if we want to find all the factors of a number, we need to find all of the numbers that can divide into the original number without a remainder. Number of factors, divisible by, multiple of, those are all essentially the same concept. We just have to remember which number fits in which place. 9 is a multiple of 3, 3 is a factor of 9, 3 is a divisor of 9, 9 is divisible by 3. All mean the same thing. So we've got a factor pair, and that's a pair of factors, two factors, whose product gives you back the original number. In other words, multiply those two numbers, we get the original number, so 2 and 15, that's a factor pair for 30. If we want to factor a number, we're going to start with 1 and check sequentially. 1, 2, 3, and so on. We can use divisibility rules, or we can just try dividing. When we find a factor, we're going to find the other number in the factor pair. That'll save us some work later. And we just keep going until we reach the, there are a couple ways to do it, but my favorite is when we get to the second number in the factor pair, in the last factor pair, I should say, we're done. Another way to do it is to look at the square root of the number. We can stop when we hit the square root, or we can stop when dividing gives you a number smaller than the number that you divided into it. All of those are equivalent. So if we're finding all factor pairs of 165, I'm going to take 1. Well, that certainly goes in. 1 goes in 165. There's a factor pair. 2? No, 2 doesn't go in because this is not even. 3. 1 plus 6 is 7 plus 5 is 12. Hey, 12 is a multiple of 3. 3 goes in. How many times? Now I do my division. 3 into 16 goes 5 times. 1 left over. 3 into 15 goes 5 times. 2 didn't work, so 4 is out. But it ends in a 5. So we can divide 5 into 165. We get 33. Now we're going to keep on going. 6, well, really every even number is out, so we skip those. 7, let's see if 7 works. 165, split that off. 5 times 2 is 10. Subtract, and no, 7 doesn't go into 6, so it doesn't go into 165. Okay, 7's out, 8's out because it's even, 9's out because when we add 1 plus 6 plus 5, we get 12. Which is not a multiple of 9. 10's out, it doesn't end in a 10, or in the 0, excuse me. 11 though. It's a nice little trick for 11s that we don't officially teach, but I'll let you in on the little secret. All you have to do to see if something is divisible by 11 is to add up every other number, and if those values are the same, then you have something that's divisible by 11. 1 plus 5 is the same as 6, so 11 goes in. Now we'll check 11 into 16 goes once. There's 5 left. We can do our little short division if we want. 11 into 55 goes 5 times. 12 is even, doesn't work. 13, well, I happen to know that 13 squared is 169, so it certainly can't go into 165. 14's out, and then 15 we have already found. So we're done. We found the 4 factor pairs of 165. So there are 8 total factors. You can do the same for 48. Now number 3 and number 4, we're asking not only find all the factors, but list them from least to greatest. Or you could even do greatest to least. Either one works. So least to greatest, we're just going to start here. If this had the same directions as that, I would just say 1, 3, 5, 11, 15, 33, 55, and 165. Let's look at factors of 123. So I'll start by doing my factor pairs just like I did over here. 1 and 123. 2's out. 3 and 41. And I happen to look at that and notice that 3 and 41 are both prime. We'll talk about prime a little bit later. But that tells me I can stop there. These are the only 4 factors of 123. That's taking me a lot of work because otherwise I'd have to check, well, the evens are out. 5's pretty easy. 7's not too bad. 9 is pretty easy to do. And we'd have to check 11 as well, but 11 squared is pretty close to 123, too close in fact. And once we get to 12, well, 12 squared is 144, that's too big. So these truly are the only 4 factors. We're listing them from least to greatest in this case. 1, 3, 41, 123. Make sure you're paying attention to the directions. If they ask for greatest to least, of course, just flip it. That's page 10.